Get on my head. Get on my head. Get on my head.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Fuzzster Reviewing Movies. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. I am the most electrifying host on Whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Fuzzy, and I am coming here from my Fuzzster Castle. We are going to be reviewing horror movies for the month of October, ladies and gents. We're even going to be doing horror comics, horror toys, horror everything, ladies and gentlemen. The Fuzzster loves Halloween, man. It is fun. The little Fuzzsters, or one of the little Fuzzsters loves it. The other one really hates Halloween. But that's a story for another day. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be reviewing some movies. But before we do that, don't forget to click, subscribe, comment, help us out, get us up to the top level, what we need to get. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate it for all of you that have already done it. And for the ones that are doing it right now, thank you, thank you. I truly do appreciate it. The category we're going to be doing, ladies and gentlemen, is remakes. Remakes. That's what we're doing right now. And so some of my favorite remakes. And we're going to start it off since last week we did House of a Thousand Corpses. Today we are going to do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's right. Based upon true events. It is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Michael Bay, Platinum Dunes, reimaking reimagining the story of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1970s classic horror film, ladies and gents. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a different little format. So next, you know what we want to do? Let me give you a little bit about the story. A group of teens are driving through the backwoods of Texas when they come across a traumatized girl walking along the side. They go to pick her up. She doesn't really say anything to them when all of a sudden they say they're going to take her home, and she pretty much says, she doesn't say this, but in so many words, she reaches into her panties, pulls out the biggest handgun I've ever seen, shoves it into her mouth, and pulls the trigger, blowing a hole out the back of her head about that freaking big. And ladies and gentlemen, then that's when the nightmare has begun. They have now a dead body in their car. They don't know what to do. They have a piñata full of weed. They got to get rid of it before they can call the cops, because they can't just dump the body there, which some of the friends have said, let's dump the body here and just go, dickheads. And then they end up going, Jessica Biel, our heroine of the film, gets in there with her boyfriend, and they decide to go to the nearest gas station to get help. And once they get there, ladies and gents, these people seem to not give a shit about what just happened in the car. They're more concerned about whether or not what these kids are doing in their town. What did they kill this girl, kind of thing. Like, it was never, no one believed anything they had said. So by calling the sheriff asked them to go meet them at this house. They go out there to go meet them, and when they get Jessica Biel and her boyfriend get there, they don't realize is that they have now entered into the residence of Leatherface. And with a smack to the head with a meat tenderizer, ladies and gentlemen, the nightmare is full throttle going forward. Now, some of the favorite scenes of mine in this movie is, it's a lot of the death scenes, because it's just crazy. Like, I've seen the typical horror movie 100 times, a couple like this, but they didn't play it up like they do in other films where, one's the jock, one's this, one's this. They all kind of seem equal, and that's what I love. So in this one, it was hard to pick apart who you kind of wish would die, first, because when you watch these other horror movies, you're like, this guy's a dick, dude. I hope fucking Jason or whoever cuts him up, because he's just a person that we don't need in this world. But you watch this one and you're cheering for all of them. Like, you want all of them to live. You want them to get out of there. Maybe that's part of the reason why it gives it that fear, that scariness. So a lot of my favorite scenes were just the creative things they did with certain, sequences in the movie. Like when one of the gentlemen is running away, he's running through, the laundry, it's flying all over the place, it's drying in the wind, and he's trying to get through, and Leatherface is behind him, and then just disappears, and whack, all of a sudden the leg goes flying off. off, and that just made me yell. And if you ever seen a horror movie with the fuzzster, when I get nervous or you catch me off guard, I laugh. So people get all weirded out sometimes when I see shit like that and it catches me off guard. And another one of the favorite scenes is the meat hook, like, the hook to the back of the spine when the guy is just hanging there still alive. Like, oh God, dude, like, it made me want to throw up. I just swallow it. That was nasty. I every time and then Beal comes and tries to pick him up. Oh God, dude. Oh God, it's giving me the EBGBs right now. Like, I don't dig that. Oh God. But that was, again, it's a scene, like, I hadn't seen this since it first came out. So I was more like, when these things were coming up, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, I remember this. But that one, I can't believe I forgot about the meat hook scene. Like, wow, that was gnarly. That was like one of those scenes I couldn't believe. And then, it's very much, the other reason why I decided to do this, as I said earlier in the footage, was that we did House of a Thousand Corpses. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is kind of silly. It's kind of the same thing, except if you compare the two, one is very outlandish, which is the House of a Thousand Corpses, when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre truly does believe that this could really happen. And again, it's based on true events. The true events it's based on is Ed Gein. Ed Gein is, inspired many movie characters throughout time. Norman Bates, what's his name? Hannibal Lecter. Like a lot of those guys have been inspired by Ed Gein because it's just a crazy story. If you never checked it out, definitely check out Ed Gein. You'll creep out. That's the true story it's based off of when they say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based off of true events. So check it out if you want. There's all kinds of good stuff out there about it. But when you see, you're going to be like, oh, this is kind of like that. And it's kind of like this. And you'll see where people have been inspired. But when the same thing happens in the House of a Thousand Corpses, the Otis comes down wearing the girl's dad's face. In this one, Leatherface is wearing the boyfriend of Jessica Biel's face as he's killing and chopping people, and it just freaks her out, and it's one of the creepier. I think that one scene is more creepier than the one in House of a Thousand Corpses, just because it's not done in almost like House of a Thousand Corpses, again, is like up. They amp it up to 1,000. This one felt like very real, very like just gory. Like, I was like, oh man, this is wrong. Like, no way. So those are probably my top 3 favorite scenes of the whole movie. There are great comedic lines inside the movie and stuff. There are good, fight sequences when they're trying to run. But those are my 3 favorite scenes. So my review and my grading of this film, again, these are just number ones we're working with for right now, but it's gonna be 7 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, 7 out of 10. We're gonna do that for right now. The reason why is, again, it's not great, but it's not bad either. Like, it deserves a C easily, like a C all day, because it gave me something a little different. It goes for the grittiness of a real, like, tries to ground it in reality. I've said it a couple times already, but it's in reality. Like, they want you to believe that Leatherface is out there. You know what I mean? That he is out there. They give you some of the same similar stuff, because again, it is a reimagining of the movie, but they give you some of the similar things, but on the same token, they're going to throw you a curveball right when you think this other one's going to go. So I like that. That is a guy like me who's seen the original a bunch of times and a fan of the original, enjoys the fact that you're going to give me a little bit of what I know is coming, but then trick me, like zing it, be like, oh, but not like an M. Night Shyamalan fuck you long guy. I pick an ending out of a goddamn hat and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, not that way. No. Like they thought it out. They're like, we could do this and then go this way and then go back this way. I like that. That's very much why I dig this one a lot. So again, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you do dig this movie as much as I do. Well, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming in and joining us. Thank you for hanging out with the Fuzzer. I really do appreciate it. You guys rock, dude. Don't let anyone tell you any different. I hope this day finds you good. I hope the Fuzzer can rub some fuzzy juice on you. Well, that sounded nasty. I shouldn't say that. Hope I could sprinkle some fuzzy dust on you, and that sounds a little better. Fuzzy dust on you, and then that way we can make sure your day is awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me, man. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to have some love, some peace, and some chicken grease. And I'll see you on the YouTube.
Get on my head. 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 Get on my head.